Now that is pretty cool. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're going to be going over a 2021 Honda Civic Type R Limited Edition. First and foremost though, a huge shout out and thank you to Stockton 12 Honda here in Utah for giving me some time with this Civic Type R. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get straight into the video. Under the hood, we have a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder that goes through a 6-speed manual transmission. Power outputs are 306 horsepower and then 295 pound-feet of torque, with fuel economy being 22 around town and then 28 on the highway. So compared to a regular Civic Type R, everything is identical from a power perspective. Now let's go over things on the front end. So just like all the other Type Rs, you do get the air intake here, which looks absolutely fantastic. I love the contrast between the black and the yellow on this limited edition. And then coming down below, we've got the full LED lights here, fog lights in this area, and then you've got the carbon fiber accenting with the red stripe in between the layers on the front splitter. We've got our Type R badge. You've got your red Honda badge as well that's part of the Type R. And yeah, just overall, especially in this yellow color, it looks so aggressive. I still like the Boost Blue a little bit more, but this still looks absolutely fantastic. We've got two 45mm tires wrapped around 20-inch wheels in the front and also in the rear. And then also part of this package, we do get BBS wheels. They are lighter than the stock wheels with the Type R. And then we get Pilot Sport Cup 2s for the tires. And then you still get the Brembo brakes up front. And then we've got regular brakes in, well, I mean, they're not technically regular because it's the Type R, but they're not Brembos in the back is what I'm trying to say. But yes, you've got the red brake caliper with the red Type R logo. I think it looks really cool. And then also the red accenting on the outside of the wheel. That looks absolutely fantastic. And then you can see the line right here with the red that goes all the way down with the side skirt. That's another cool accent piece. Notice that the mirror's been blacked out. We've got more venting here on the side of the Type R. And then the other thing that I really like here is notice that the roof has been blacked out, and then also the top of the spoiler in the rear. And so I think that also looks really good from an accenting perspective. And then even though we don't have Brembos in the back, they still painted the caliper red so that it all matches from a design standpoint. And yeah, that's everything for the side of the Type R. Now let's pop here into the rear hatch area of the Type R. So first off, notice that the floor mats even have the red accenting, which I think is definitely a really cool and unique touch. And then underneath this part right here, you could use it for a little bit of extra storage. It does have the Fix-A-Flat kit on top of that. Now, part of this limited edition is they have gotten rid of some of the sound deadening. It's all throughout the car. I can't exactly show it, but I can at least tell you guys that they've gotten rid of a lot of the sound deadening. But yeah, that's pretty much everything for the rear. You guys can see everything up there, and well, whoop, there we go. Now let's finish things up in the rear of this Type R Limited Edition. So first off, we have the Vortex generator here at the top, and obviously it's functional, but on top of that, it just looks really good aesthetically, and it matches perfectly kind of there with the shark fin from an aesthetic perspective, kind of like all of the pieces coming down. And then we've got the gigantic spoiler here, which actually provides real downforce with the Type R. So not only does it look crazy, it is functional. And then we technically have a second spoiler down here below that connects with the lights. So this has two spoilers in the back. Pretty unique, right? Not every car has two spoilers. I love how it connects all to the taillights. And we've got our blacked out Civic and then Type R badge, and then you've got the red Honda logo. And then one of the changes they made for 20 and then 21 as well is how the venting looks here in the rear. I think this looks significantly better than the 17s, 18s, and then 19s as well. It's just, I don't know, it's cleaned up and everything. And then you've got more venting there on the side, and then we've got the carbon fiber trim down below. And then dissecting it, we've got the red line. We've got the 3 exhaust tips here in the center portion. And then we've got the diffuser here at the back as well. And yeah, just overall, definitely looks crazy and aggressive from the rear perspective. Now here's the door panel on the back of the Type R. So notice it's actually hard touch right here, and then we've got cloth down below. And then here are the seats in the back. So we do have some red stitching, but they're full cloth seats. And then we've got the red seat belts here in the rear as well. And then notice we've got some cup holders, and then you could use that space behind the cup holders as some extra storage space. Now, something that's nice about the Type R is, I'm just gonna kind of gently pop back here, is it actually has a decent amount of legroom and headroom as well, so you can easily fit passengers here. But notice that it is technically a 2+2 because the middle seat is taken up by the whole cup holder storage space situation. But yeah, that's everything for the back. Let's head to the front. Now here's the door panel in the front of the Type R. Notice we've got more carbon fiber trim, and then the red accent just like on the outside. We've got red stitching, then Alcantara just down below that. And we have more Alcantara where you're gonna rest your arm. You've got your regular window controls and then the mirror adjustments as well. And then notice you have speakers there for the sound system. Now I'm not taking off the seat covers because this car actually is pre-sold, and the person who purchased it did request that the plastic covering be left on. So I'm obviously going to respect that request. But you've got the crazy bolstering here with the seats, Alcantara with this portion of the seat, and then on the inside as well. But then right here you can see you've got the cloth inserts, just like all the other Type Rs. The seats are manually adjustable. And it's actually pretty cool to see all of the plastic covering on everything. You've got the 3-pedal layout, which looks absolutely fantastic. And then it does come with some safety tech. We've got our lane departure assistance, collision, and then stability control. Notice we've got more carbon fiber and red accenting here in this area, and then also around the vent, there's even more red accenting. And yeah, there's one more look before we pop in. Now let's start things off here with the steering wheel. So for the 20s and 21s, you get an Alcantara steering wheel. I love the black and the red contrast, kind of like what you have with the rest of the car. And again, you've got the red Honda logo. This does have some practical car stuff though. It still has the cruise control and the lane keep assist. And then over here, you've got your voice command, phone controls, controls for the center stack. And then just behind the steering wheel, notice we've got the stock there for the turn signal lights. And then the other side, you've got the windshield wiper stock. But yeah, that's everything for the steering wheel. Also, notice with the stitching, we have the red stitching up here, and then they continue the red stitching all throughout on the steering wheel. So here's a center gauge cluster. I love the look of it with all of the red accenting. Now there are a couple different menus that you can scroll through here in the center. You can see that you've got like the radio menu right there, and then we can actually go over to the side here and notice that you can go through the different stations, all that. So yeah, pretty cool that you've got that functionality with it. And then there's a pages button that we can also pull up, and then this will pull up different bits of information on the Civic Type R itself. You can see like you can go to music, maintenance, all that kind of stuff. And I love how they just give you logos instead of words, so like we can do this for the gas, for example. I don't know, I think that that's pretty cool. Now we do have a couple, well not a couple, more than a couple. We've got some drive modes we can go into. So first off, we have the comfort mode, and that's going to be, again, pretty self-explanatory, your comfort drive mode. Then we've got the sport, and then if you hold it down for a little bit, you'd have the plus R, which is kind of interesting. I feel like it should be R plus, but in the plus R mode, it has the auto rev match with the transmission. So when you downshift, it'll automatically blip the throttle for you so that you don't have to do that yourself. And that's kind of like your track driving mode, but sport mode is probably what you're gonna drive it in most of the time. We've got more red accenting around the vent area, and then we've got carbon fiber here above the glove box, and then more red accenting. And then even with the infotainment system, notice that everything is outlined with red accenting. They've carried it everywhere into the car, and I don't know, I think that's pretty cool and unique. But you guys can see this is Honda's infotainment system. Now this isn't their newest unit, but it actually responds really well. It's easy to use. You've got these shortcut buttons on the side. So for example, if I want to go to the map view, I can just press that and then it'll show us where we are. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy to use. And then we also do have a backup camera, which I'll show you guys how to get into reverse when we go over the gear shifter. But here's what the reverse camera looks like. And then notice that just like all the other Hondas, you've got the zoom in function and then the other angle on that as well. And resolution on it's actually really good. But other than that, that's everything for the center screen. Now here are the climate controls for the Type R. So this does have a dual zone climate system. And then aside from that, notice that we've got that little USB right there and some extra storage space. Now here is the shifter. This is probably the best manual transmission shifter you can get for probably under like $100,000, well, maybe not $100,000, but like I can't think of any other car that has a better shifter than this in this price range, or even several $1,000s above what the Type Rs are going for. First off, it's nice and metallic, which it's over 100 degrees today, so it's very hot to touch. So I guess take that into account. But when it's not crazy hot to touch, it's just absolute perfection. So if I push the clutch in, the gears are just so notchy. It's absolutely perfect. You know that you're in a gear and it feels like you're doing something substantial. Now for reverse, it's all the way over and then back like that. There's no push down or pull up function. But yeah, overall, I love the look of it, and the feel of it is just perfection, other than on an extremely hot summer day when this car has been sitting outside for some time. And I mean, it's so hot, like I can't even hold on to it right now. But yeah, definitely one of the best, if not the best, manual transmissions. And if you guys are used to like the Honda S2000, or if you've ever driven one of those, this feels very similar to that in terms of the feedback that you get with it. Now we've got our brake hold right here, and then the parking brake, and then notice we've got our Type R, and then it says USA, and then it also gives you the build number. I think that's pretty cool. And then we've got the drive mode select right next to it, and then we've got the Civic center console with all of the Alcantara and stitching, and then there's another USB down there, the tiered cup holders, and then you've got this portion right here that you can lift up, which obviously has the plastic wrapping. I mean, again, it's cool to see the plastic wrapping on everything. And then finally, we've got the glove box over here with the handles just right there. Pretty normal glove box. And yeah, that's all for that area. We've got a traditional mirror, and then we have an all black headliner. And I mean, there's nothing else for me to really talk about up top, but I mean, I figured I'd show you guys. So here's the window sticker for the Type R limited edition. Now there's one thing on this window sticker that I absolutely love, but first off, I'll show you guys all the standard equipment so you can see what this comes with as standard. And then you can see you've got the limited edition that gives you the special color. You've got the BBS wheels, you've got the Cup 2s, you've got the black chrome badging is what they call it. And then you guys can see you've got that pricing right there. And then we've got the total MSRP, $44,990. Now this is super limited edition, so obviously these cars have been selling for significantly over MSRP because there's just not enough of them and so many people want them. This is my favorite part though, is it has this for the tires, letting you know you can't drive it in winter. And then also, since they're super sticky, and obviously these tires, they come from the factory with significantly less tread wear than what you're going to be able to get with a normal tire. It's like, expect significantly less than 10,000 miles. I think it's awesome that they have that on it. I mean, it's kind of funny, but yeah, that is everything for this Type R limited edition. Super grateful that I was able to get some time with this car. Now that's gonna sum things up for our video on this 2021 Honda Civic Type R limited edition. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to Stockton 12 Honda for giving me some time with this Type R. Check out their inventory in the link below. I'll see all of you in that next video.